Growing up in town, my father owned a business here for years, and it's always been one of those where you want to look local first before you kind of broaden out. And really their name kind of set a precedence already through town. As I started looking into it, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. It checked all the boxes in terms of where I would want to invest my money for having somebody do something for me. And then being local just is a cherry on top, that I know everybody there and I know they're going to take good care of me. So it was a pretty easy decision. Initiating it was fairly easy. It was just a quick little call to Darcy and just to kind of inquire about it, just to see what it was all about. All it took was just a bill sent to them that I just digitally forwarded on to them through email. From there, they were able to break it down both by month on how much I would potentially make, and then over the life of the 30 years that the panels are good for, just on how much I could potentially save just doing this initial upfront investment on the house. They came out, the installation crew was amazing to work with. They really were on top of it, knew what they were doing, made a few critiques that made it look even better once it was finally up. And then from there, you have a final inspection with Ameren once it's all set up to make sure the panel looks good and everything's wired up correctly. And then they flip a big switch and you can check right on your app that everything, from the moment they kick it on, you're starting to produce power. I had changed all my light bulbs. I had done new insulation throughout the house. So I was kind of at peak of what I could do myself to lower it. So I was down around $150 a month, which is pretty decent. But from there, once we kicked it on with the estimate, I'm down to the $14 hookup fee. It's just $14 every month. So, I mean, that's just money right back into my pocket. That's just incredible to see each time, that how easy it was and how little I have to do. I'm used to working pretty hard for any kind of dollar I make. So to see that money that I would have had to spend, it's just like, boy, this is easy. I like this. Put a brand new roof on prior to them coming out, and you can just get really antsy of just having anybody start drilling into a brand new roof that you spent a lot of money on. Like I said, the installation crew was phenomenal. They really knew what they were doing and just had everything up and running and looking great. I haven't had any kind of issues with it whatsoever. The other thing, I wasn't sure how it was going to look actually on the roof. For some reason I thought, having this idea in my head that it was going to be this big mirror on the top, but instead it's pretty matte, which makes sense since it's absorbing the light. But it blends in pretty seamlessly with my roof, that where if you weren't looking for it directly, you're not going to really notice it if you were just driving down. And even if you do, I think they look pretty good. This is one of the most direct investments I've made towards my own family and my own home, to where I can actually see it making a huge difference on the daily if you really look into it that deep. You think of Illinois, you think we're cloudy for 4 months out of the year, if not longer, and you're like, well, we can't be a solar state. We're not like Arizona. But boy, I tell you what, it seems to be really working for what I needed. And boy, it's just a direct investment right back into my pocket.